been the heavyweight champ, I've asked to work, like, certain guys, just because, like, I always said to Nathan and Rob, I don't just want to be a champion that, comes in and wrestles the same guy all the time. I said it's cool that, like, me and Kelly have, like, intertwined again from the Trans-Tasmania to the heavyweight. I'm like, that's cool. But I said I want to have matches against guys who don't train with me, guys who are from either interstate or, from a different promotion, just so I can go in there and see what we can come out with. So, like, I wanted first one of the guys that come up early on was Lucci. Never worked with Lucci. I'm like, I want to work him, and boom, worked him. And then, like, I'd worked with Wahlberg once before, and I said I want to work with Wahlberg because Wahlberg's, like, he's evolved so much since he first come into wrestling, and I was like, he's a good test. Like, see what we can do together. And then there was Kai Drake. And then someone, Rat Daddy, like, never thought in a million years that me and Rat Daddy would step in the ring and have a banger of a match. But, like, it was a cool match, that was. And
he's insane. Like, he's awesome.
Every time I've kind of asked for someone since 100%, he's awesome. He's, like, good character. Like, he's just he's a cool dude too. But
so we've got to...
every time I've asked for someone, I've pretty much got.
So we got Christy, who has got a question for you, Cowboy. She wants to know: is there anything that you would have done differently in your career?
Ooh. Oh, looking back, I probably wouldn't have worked. Like, I know everyone says you need to work good crowds, bad crowds, good promotions, good promotions. But I'm like, I probably wish I didn't do so many bad promotions when I was just trying to get ring time. I wish I was a bit more select instead of just driving to, to Canberra, to Maitland, like, doing all these. And I was like, for like literally nothing, you're getting like a hot dog and a handshake, and you're getting a match. So I'll probably do that. Like, let's spend it bad promotions.
Let's spend it bad. But I suppose, like, you don't really know they're a bad promotion until you really go there, right? Or were you going back to the bad promotions knowing that?
No, in hindsight you do, but, like, no, I would never go back there now. I look and I think back now and I'm like, why did I waste so many weekends having hardly any sleep, driving all that way and wrestling for, 10, 15 minutes and then getting home? And, like, in a way I kind of sacrificed time at home. Yeah. And I'm like, it's time you never get back. But it's like, it was only like 8 hours. So it's like me going to work. So I was like, that's the only thing I'd probably do different. Like, because the guy, like, you got to learn to work a bad wrestler, a good wrestler, that mid-range wrestler. Like, so you got to be able to work in front of no one, got to be able to work in front of 400 or 500 people. So I'm appreciative of all that. But yeah, the less time spent at bad promotions would probably be that.
100%, man. But, and that's the thing, you said, less time spent at home as well, and you don't get that time back. And, you've got young kids around about the same age as my kids, man. And you're 100% right. And I think that's the thing is, as much as you enjoy wrestling, if you're going to go and wrestle for a bad promotion against a bad opponent, then it's like, there's no gain for you to do it, really.
No, 100%.
Unless you just want to get some time away with the boys, and then that's a different story. But
like some of the trips we've had, like, they've been fun. Like, just stupid stuff we do, and, like, you can never replace the stupid things you do, like driving and, like, just at the show backstage and that. Like, they're fun. And you can never take them away, but you just I just wish the promotions that I'd work for probably.
The IWA summer tours, man, just seem like they are so much fun. Like, from the photos that I've seen to them, I was like, fuck, man, I wish I could go to the show, but it's like 6 hours away. I could not talk my wife into allowing me to drive. It was like, I'm just going to go for like 12 hours out of the house on a Saturday. I'll be fine. But yeah, like those shows look like they're a lot of fun, and it looks like the talent have a lot of fun.
Now they've always they've always been fun. The tours, like the summer tour, what else? The Wild West tours, like they've always been fun. Like, but they've just changed so much. Like this year was probably the most tamed year we've ever had on tour. Like the boys were all, we did ring, went back, all had a feed, we're in bed, by 1, 2 o'clock probably. But like there was one morning where Mark got up and went for a 5K run with me, Kelly, and Wahlberg. I was just like, that's never been done on tours, like ever.
What, cardio or Mark running?
Oh, Mark running is like one thing that's never happened on tour, but Mr. Fitness now.
He's in great shape now.
It's good that he offered. He's like, I'm going to go for a run. Who's keen? He is. I keep telling him, like, come back, one more match. Like I said, just do it. Like you're in real good nick now.
Dude, I was sitting with him before the show and we were talking and we're watching, everyone do their thing, getting ready for their matches and stuff. And I looked at him and I said, "You ever miss it?" And he looked at me and went, "Fuck no." I was like, oh man, maybe they could. I thought that was the seed going to get planted at that show for you and him to go up against each other. I was like, that's why I was like, for some reason I thought that was going to happen. Like I was convinced of it, and I asked him, he's like, "No, fuck no." I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe it's not going to happen." But have you had a chance to work Mark before?
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's well and truly retired. From what he was telling me.
I've never worked Mark. Yeah. No, he's well and truly, definitely well and truly retired. But no, I've never actually had the chance to work Mark in a match. But there was a couple of times when we, on a tour, he'd get in the ring and he'd show us how he, just how to lock up a certain way and just show us little things that what he was taught. And he'd even come to the Australian Pro Wrestling Gym once or twice and just, look around and see how we're doing things and stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, he was trained by the Malenkos, man. So, he's and done it for over 20 years. So, he's definitely the sort of guy that can pass on a lot of knowledge to some of the younger guys coming through right now.
Oh, 100%. And like, it was funny. It was actually really funny on tour at Sawtell. He was out in the back and he locked up with Will Keaties. And then he come in, he's like, "Oh, my neck, how stiff a work is that, Will Keaties? Oh, fuck me neck. I'm going to be, I'm going to have neck problems for the next week or something." Like, fuck, it was just a different side of Mark, but fuck, it cracked us up.
Hey, Kyle Eade has got a question for you, man. He wants to know how long you've been wrestling for.
How long have I been wrestling for? So I debuted in March of 2014 on shows. My first match was AWF, but I'd been training. Yeah. So I started training in 2011, did the whole year, graduated from the training, and then in 2012 I went away from it completely and just left it. And then in 2013 I come back into wrestling probably in April after I'd come back from the States because I went to WrestleMania 29.
How was that as a live show, man, to be at a WrestleMania?
Fuck. For me, it's unreal because like I grew up in a small town, like 3,000 people, and I used to say to like my family, my friends, "I'll wrestle one day," and they're like, "Oh yeah, good one, mate. Grow up, like it's never gonna happen." Then I'm like, "I reckon I'll go to America and I'll see a WrestleMania. I'll prove you all wrong." And then I went WrestleMania 29, and it's probably the best atmosphere of anything I've ever been to. Like, just even though everyone says, "Oh, the crowd, the card wasn't the best card, this and that," and I was just like, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, to me, I seen the debut of the Shield. I seen the Rock because the Rock's my boy. I was
Yeah, that's
I
it.
just I and CM Punk and Taker, like they're three things that stick out from they stick out for me. Like so, I was happy as.
And did that really like hook you back into wrestling by going and seeing that? Like, was that the moment like, yeah, fuck yeah, time to get back into training?
Yeah, 100%. That was like to see the production of a WrestleMania and to be there and see how they perform, and just like the atmosphere the atmosphere was the biggest thing. And I'm like, fuck, if I could get into wrestling, back into wrestling, and get that passion for it, and we have shows in Australia and we get a crowd that's really passionate about the match that's going on in the ring and they're reacting, and you just make that atmosphere and make you feel like you're big time like they are. I'm like, fuck, that'd be
Mm.
unreal. So like it really got me back into it. And then one of my mates reached out to me, Josh, and said, oh, hey, because I started training with Josh, and he's like, oh, hey,